The PC will never die. Here are 10 of the best PC games, all arranged by playscore. The playscore is an aggregate of gamer and critic ratings.
Hope you like surprise, Spider!
The age of exclusives nears its end, as everyone's favorite neighborhood superhero swings into PC. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered has all the web-slinging shenanigans that Peter Parker has to offer.
I caught the bad guys, but...
But what?
You might want to bring a ladder.
Its crisp visuals and better performance on PC make swinging between buildings oh so satisfying. This is topped by the cast's strong performances and an impressive roster of villains. While the story doesn't deviate that much from the original, some players, especially those familiar with the first game, may find Peter's updated model a little bit strange. Overall, this is one of the best superhero games ever made. It has a playscore of a 9.2. The Western port to one of the best JRPG stories is here. At 9th place is The Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero. This is the first of the Trail series' Crossbell arc. That means we get to see a whole new location to explore, a conspiracy to uncover, and a bunch of fascinating characters to meet. Much like other great JRPGs, it's praised for its well-written story, one that takes place in the massive Trails universe. Yes, including Cold Steel and Trails in the Sky. The old-school turn-based mechanics can be a little bit daunting, but if you're seeking a game with a memorable plot and an epic soundtrack, this is the one. A playscore of a 9.2.
It's here, the delicious last course.
Rolling in at 8th is Cuphead, the delicious last course. Despite the challenges and frustration it can cause, we're still willing to give Cuphead a try. The Delicious Last Course, or DLC, is an expansion of the Cuphead story. With tough bosses and challenging levels, prepare to pull your hair once more.
Are you kidding me?
But this hasn't stopped us from smacking enemies before, so why stop now? The addition of Miss Chalice as a playable character adds new dynamics to the game. She demands more skill, but once you master her moves, she's a force to be reckoned with. A playscore of a 9.2. Norco is a unique game that uses traditional point-and-click mechanics to piece together an emotional story. It stands out amongst all the other games for its engaging and thought-provoking story. Finding clues, making choices, and solving a few simple puzzles are the three things you only need to worry about. Norco is a critique on dystopian delights that we've been playing over again and again in other games. And its enchanting soundtrack lures us into a world slowly losing touch of nature. It receives a playscore of a 9.2. You might be surprised how this 28-year-old JRPG made its way to 6th place. Well, it came out on PC as part of the Pixel Remaster that polished the first 6 games of Square's renowned series. This remastered version improves the visual quality of their signature sprite characters, as well as the soundtrack, smoother UI, among many other things. Apart from that, much of the story remains unchanged. A hot take: 6 could have been the best Final Fantasy if 7 didn't exist. Don't fight me on this. The journey of Terra and her quest to save the planet is not something that we can simply forget. If you ask a Final Fantasy fanboy what their favorite entry is, you might be surprised to find this on their top 3, a playscore of a 9.3. Can you imagine a bullet hell game where you are the bullet hell? Vampire Survivors is the most video game of the year. Imagine you're a lone hero swarmed by waves and waves of monsters. That shouldn't worry you. Once you get enough powers, you won't be pressing buttons in a while. Its simple and addicting roguelike formula is mixed with the mechanical gameplay of an idle clicker. This is exactly why Vampire Survivor shines. It's a game that you can pick up and play in short bursts anytime, so it's perfect if you're a Steam Deck user. It has a playscore of a 9.3. The quest to preserve your lineage is just as addicting and will keep you playing for more. The premise is simple. Enter the castle, slay beasts, die, and respawn as your next of kin. You can be a colorblind warrior or an archer with vertigo on your next run. Rogue Legacy 2 is better by a mile. The addition of relics, items that will power you up during one of your heir's journey, changes the way you will play. This unique gameplay loop has continued to hook players ever since the first game. It receives a play score of a 9.3.
Why do they need assassins in heaven? To do someone's dirty work.
Neon White's energetic approach to combat is like watching a Doom speedrunner high on caffeine. This is exactly what makes this indie shooter great. Redeem yourself in the gates of heaven as you slay enemies in tightly designed levels. Sacrificing cards for godlike abilities turns you into a one-man army. It's a game about beating your own record. There's always an optimal way of doing things, and you're free to experiment with crazy movesets. So long as you don't suffer from video game nausea. Even though you don't care about its cheesy story, Neon White has enough challenges to kind of distract you from its questionable writing choices.
The dialogue in this is a f***ing embarrassment.
Neon White has a play score of a 9.4. In second place is God of War. It came out this year along with Spider-Man and shows us how great these games are when played on more powerful hardware. The beginning of Kratos and Atreus' journey isn't as exhilarating as Ragnarok, but its focus on character development made players connect with these lost demigods. God of War's release on PC is praised by both critics and gamers. It may be a simple port, but the enhancements to performance and visual fidelity makes the PC version the best to play. The Norse realm is dangerous, but that won't stop this father-son duo from spreading their mother's ashes on the highest peak of the 9 realms. It gets a play score of 9.5. And the winner of this year's Game Awards and the top PC game this year is Bill Clinton. Elden Ring. We'll say it again, Elden Ring is a stellar achievement in video games, pushing the limits to what a game should be. It expands player freedom as they explore the dangerous yet gorgeous landscapes of the lands between. The open world formula isn't borrowing pesky checklists from other AAA studios. Instead, Elden Ring lets players decide where to go and what to do. The game is focused on creating a rich and immersive world, so be sure to treat the inhabitants and creatures you encounter with respect. You never know what you might find, like a turtle pope in a church. With a play score of a 9.6, Elden Ring won't go out of our radar anytime soon.